What's going on? We're here with week 1 of the draft jam. My draft analysis video, or my live draft rather, went up about a week ago, so hopefully you saw that. If you didn't, I actually understand because it was over an hour long. But yeah, so we're back on Wi-Fi. I haven't played this in like over a year and a half. I think that's when Summer Scramble was. So it's probably going to feel weird again. I remember when I first started playing Wi-Fi after not for so long. It was a super weird feeling adjustment. But in that tournament, we played someone named Ducky, and that's actually who we're playing again for week 1 of the draft jam. So that's pretty exciting. After the tournament, over time, I got to know him a little better. I wouldn't say like too well, but he seems like a cool guy. He seems pretty nice, so that's always good. So yeah, I don't have too much to say other than that. So we'll just get into the matchup. I already have. I mean, you can. Not that I have to read them anyway, because you can see them on the screen. But I'm not gonna bother reading my fucking Pokemon. But he's got the Tera Iron Moth, the Zapdos, Hisui Samurott, Excadrill, Dragonite, Ribombee, Tera Hoopa, Sinistcha, Okidogi, and Dunsparce. A few things. I think my matchup is extremely favorable against his #1 pick, the Tera Iron Moth. It's also nice because in matchups that Iron Moth struggles in, sometimes it'll rely on like this Boots, Toxic, U-Turn, whatever set, but that set's also not good because I don't just have a Tinglu that walls it, I also have a Galare King, so from his point of view, when he's building, like he can't really know which I'm going to prefer to switch in on. So like if I go G-King and he were to Toxic, like that's a totally lost turn for him. I get a free Chili Reception off basically, so I think that set is an option that my draft like just completely takes away from him, and then it's already given the offensive is pretty bad. So I do think that if he's Tera, he's definitely going to want to be something that's going to hit the Ting. He certainly doesn't want to be 2-shot. Well, really, I mean, he gets 1-shot by Earthquake as it currently stands, but he doesn't want to get 2-shot. So I think if it came, it'd probably be like a Morning Sun. 3 attacks. Maybe a set that would... not sure what type it would be. You want to hit Tinglu, but the options for that are like fighting, which he would never be because of the G-King. But there's fighting, so no. There's water. There's grass. Grass also weaken to G-King, so I guess water. There's bug. I guess bug would hit a few things. But yeah, I think it's like overall like I'm kind of forcing the Tera potential for the Iron Moth. I don't think anything is very good. I could also see like Tera Fire if he's just trying to like rip attacks. Like if he's Boots, or I guess early game Specs, he's just like he goes into Iron Moth and he just rips the Tera Overheat and switches. If that's like that could be something he does. But in any case, like I'm really not that worried about it. Zapdos has a pretty difficult matchup against me. It is checked very reliably by the Tinglu, by the Slowking. Even Kyurem can switch in pretty reliably to it. I would say Cyclizar, but not really. Like you can run AV, but it isn't threatened back that much. So it really is just those 3 Pokemon. Samurott is perma-jailed by the Azu. Samurott usually has this problem in these types of matchups. Same for like if I had Primarina. So he's probably just going to rely on clicking Ceaseless, just get the spikes up, and not really expect to get much value out of it. Other than that, if you look at his matchup, like he is very Kyurem weak, so he may also use as like a 1-for-1 trade with Yachi Berry. So it could be like Yachi Sacred Sword. So when he's in against Kyurem, he takes a hit and KOs back. Or I don't know if it KOs, but it does a lot. And then anytime he's not in that scenario, then he can just Ceaseless Edge, get a spike up, swap. Probably is priority as well, I would think. Probably Sucker Punch, I think. That'd probably be what he would do. I guess Aqua Jet too, but Sucker Punch obviously stronger. But yeah, so far his top 3 picks, all Pokemon I'm really not worried about at all. Next we have Excadrill. At like matchup preview, I don't think Excadrill is that threatening against me. He does have the Mold Breaker for the Bronzong, so that is something in his favor. But Slitherwing beats it pretty reliably. Annihilape's always going to win a trade against it for the most part. Tinglu beats it very reliably. There are a few different like lures, like even like Shuka Slowking could catch him. Also, like his stabs are walled by Thundurus. I ended up bringing a particular build that I'm gonna get into that is kind of extra weak, but I do have some I do have some ways that I account for that. But like in general, I don't expect him to look at the matchup and see like, oh, Excadrill smokes here. Like I don't think he's gonna see that. It's just the case of like I bring a team that's kind of vulnerable to Excadrill. D-Knight. D-Knight is tough here for him because like DD isn't very good. It doesn't have a, it's hard even with even if you preserve multi-scale, it's kind of hard to get the DD off in a way that's going to position you like to win outright. Also, like there's some like both physical and special are bad bad here. So yeah, I don't expect him to see Dragonite as a very good Pokemon here, and if he does, I think it's going to be a late game guy. He's going to try and see what Pokemon he can take down. He might even build a team that's tailored toward taking down certain mons, and then he can win with Dragonite. But in general, I don't expect, if Dragonite comes at all, I don't expect it to be like a threat that's present for most of the game. I'll put it that way. Now, there's a Ribombee. The main potential for this would be Webs. It is kind of scary for him to be Webs versus Defiant because while I do benefit a lot from Annihilate speed, if I was just a fat set that was slower than everything, but I was +2 attack anytime I came in, that would be very difficult for him. So I don't expect him to see that as enticing. Offensive is also just very bad against G-King. Even though it's super effective with both its stats on Tinglu, it does do a lot to Tinglu. I don't think it doesn't really be Thunderous either. There's also a Bronzong, all these things. So I think Ribombee has a very hard time. The Hoopa is probably one of the more threatening guys this matchup, if not the most threatening, just because it has a very high attack. I think it's 160 base attack, 170 base special attack. Obviously Terra any type because you're Terra, but it also has just really good coverage. So basically, like when you roll with a Hoopa, obviously the drawback is like the speed. Well, I guess the speed and the Fizz Death. But ultimately, like if you want to hit something, you can and you will with Hoopa. So Hoopa's not a Pokemon that like I'm gonna have my designated defensive check and it will always switch in and take 2 and KO in 1. Like this is never happening against a Hoopa. This is not real. With that in mind, I do expect that he's going to hit the Tinglu super effectively. He can always stomach hits from Glare King, so I don't think that's something he's going to be as worried about. The options here would be Fairy. Now that is weak to Sludge Bomb. He can take a couple. He can probably take 2 even. So I could see like Policy Trick Room Fairy. Well, he doesn't want to be. Well, he doesn't want to be slower than Tinglu, so he might just be Policy. Because like the faster guys that I do have, they're not. Well, I guess Thunder's is strong. Cyclozar's not, but like I guess there's a world you could imagine where he could live 2 attacks to take 2 down or something like that. I guess I'd have to flesh it out more thoroughly. I don't expect him to be a set like that, but I could see him being Water or Fairy. Water may even be more likely the more I look at it. But like one of those probably, or I guess it could be the Bug too. The Bug that I had attributed Iron Moth. The logic is essentially the same for Hoopa, so I think that's possible. Sinistcha, pretty good check to my Azu. Probably a pretty good check to Slither as well. Comes in very safely on Ting, although Ting will be able to get his Hazard up as he goes Sinna, so it's not like his ability to go hard Sinna is necessarily good for him. Depending on like how it all shakes out. Decent check to Annihilate before I get the Rage Fist off. Obviously, from his point of view, that's maybe less the case. If I'm like Terra Ghost and I'm like Terra Blast, then maybe not. But I think Sinistcha is pretty valuable defensively for him. At the same time, it's kind of a liability because it does not hit Kieran very well. It does lose to Thunderous. And like I said, like under the right circumstances, it does lose to Annihilate as well, but that interaction is a little more complicated. You also could argue just losing to Enam as well. That will also depend, as many things do in prep, many things do in Draft League. It depends. Okie dokie, this Pokemon I think is pretty good against me, mostly just by the fact that like it's the simple like nothing KOs it in 1, but it can hit a few things hard. So. Like, yeah, I could easily force a trade for it, like if I was willing to stay in, attack, take his hit and then go to the next thing. But if I'm not willing to do that, then I kind of got to switch into it, switch around a bit, and he can do damage that way. I do have the Annihilate, which resists, or actually it's like immune to one, but it resists both the stabs. The Glow King, you'd have to be physically defensive invested, but knock Oki like won't to a KO unless it's like literally banded. So like Glow King can do that, hit it super effective. Slither, I don't know about Slither. Like I think it gets Earthquake, but it's not great. I do like in terms of an Okie Dokie check. I do have a few guys outside of that also hit it super effectively, like Earth Power Curum, Psychic Thunderous. So there are things that will threaten it. Bronzong is neutral to the close combat, but it also threatens it. And of course, Knock is always in play in that scenario as well. But and last is the Dunsparce. This thing in general, like, could it be annoying? Yes, like through glare and whatnot, but offensively, like whether it's a nastier CM set or coil or whatever, I think pretty much all of these options my team handles very well. I think I have a lot of different means to deal with all of those sets. I don't think any one is particularly good. I don't expect that he's going to think any one are particularly good when he's prepping. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get into my team. Like I could go one by one through a matchup and think about all the different things that they could do. But I think it'd be more effective just to talk about the team that I actually have. So first we got Ting-Lu. This is essentially a standard, especially defensive Ting-Lu. I don't remember exactly the calc. I had like 3 tournament games I built for Jason 1 week, and then I built this. So I'm a little crossed up. I think I always say this, but like my recollection is not perfect for when I do these team builders. But this is essentially a Spadef Ting-Lu. Like, yeah, it's technically 240, 240, and there's like a 28 here. I think it was rounded to some particular calc against Terrifier, Iron Moth with specs. Like maybe I take 3 Fire Blast or something. But Spikes, Earthquake, Ruination, and Whirlwind. Doesn't hit Zapdos exactly. Like I'll have to Ruination and then EQ on the Roost. It's not something I can like Stone Edge, so I kind of have to finesse it when I attack it. But like in general, Zapdos is kind of walled by it. Rain Dance Weather Ball like is on the table, but I don't think like that doesn't do. I wouldn't say it. So the damage isn't insignificant. I think it does like 40, but that's not like the most amazing, terrifying damage. And if it came to that, I can always go Slowking. But yeah, basically this thing can come in on Dragonite and just Whirlwind, stop setup because I don't really hit it that well. I can come in on Excadrill several times and hit it back. If it's special Hoopa, I can take some and hit, but like there's really no telling how easy that will be without knowing its type. But the main thing is like his remover is Drill, and that can't come in hard on Ting-Lu. So it's a very good setter in this matchup, because like I can click Spike and whatever he's going to go into on me, it'll probably be Sinistcha if I were to guess, but it's not going to remove. So the Spike is going to be here to stay. In general, getting Excadrill in is going to be difficult. So really, any Spike I manage to get up is probably staying. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Ting-Lu. Next is Annihilate. This is kind of a weird set, but it's fire. This is max HP, effectively max HP, max speed. This HP and defense combination is so that if I bulk up in Ogi's face, I comfortably live a CC and KO back. I think I actually avoid. Let me try and think. I think this combination is like I live CC. I think if I bulk up twice, CC doesn't do half, if I remember correctly. But after the 1 defense drop, Rage Fist into 40 attack from +1, Annihilate drops Okie Dokie. The thing with Terra Rock, like Terra Rock is a pretty unusual type for Annihilate, but if you look, all of his Pokemon that hit Rock super effectively are physical. They're also all weak to fighting. Well, the exception would be Okie Dokie, and that's why the EVs are somewhat tailored that way. But in this case, I'm talking about like Excadrill and Samurott. If they are faster than Annihilate, which really they'd have to be Scarf for that to be the case, but I take a hit, even a super effective one, after a bulk up, and then I drain it all back. The main thing that matters to me is like I think bulk up 3 attacks is generally very good. The Rock Terra Blast also hits a lot of things very well. Like Zapdos, it's non-contact and also accurate. Same for Dragonite, same for Rabombi. Not that I really have the Rabombi issue because I can Rage Fist that. But if you're trying to get Annihilate going, Iron Moth is a Pokemon. Like, it's not that Iron Moth is great into me. Like, I do have very reliable switches. But if I want to get going and bulk up with Annihilate and not be forced out, I'm going to need to be something that can eat like a Terrifier, you know? And there aren't many sets that are going to be able to do that. And there also aren't many sets that are going to be able to do that and eat from other things. Like I could be water, right? But then I'm weak to Zapdos. I also have a super effective click on Zapdos. So that really kind of limits our options here. I think the only other thing I was considering was Dragon. And then I would just bulk up extra times to break through Zapdos. But pretty early on, I think actually even in the first build, like I settled on Rock, and I think Rock is just good here. But yeah, like the speed is creeping max speed Drill, which also obviously in turn covers max speed Samurott. I already explained the attack and the bulk. So that should be that. You're gonna notice like I actually benched the Cyclizar, so this is a boots heavy matchup because I do expect the Samurott, not that Samurott's going to be good into me. I think it's actually very bad because of the presence of the Azumarill, but he is going to be able to get the spikes up. So I need to contend with that. I'm going to be a lot of boots guys for that reason. He also, fortunately for me, and you will see this, but he only has 1 rocker. Well, he has 2, but Dunsparce is not horribly viable here. Anyway, the Slowking. If you look at this, if you look at the team, I'm actually kind of thin on Okidogi switches. If I'm going to Terra the Annihilate. If I'm going to Terra the Annihilate, and also if I'm going to not bring Slitherwing, as you can see, I don't. So the Glow King, even though in theory, like it'd be nice if it checked Iron Moth, and like to some extent it still can, it's actually tailored for Okidogi. It's Colbur. This HP and defense allows me to come in on Knock. I take from max attack, I take a Knock, and then I live the second one, KO back with Psychic. And then if he does that and swaps, when I swap, I regen back to, I think, full or close to it. And then his itemless Knock doesn't 2-hit KO me either. The special defense, that's also a calc on Iron Moth. I think Fire Blast doesn't KO from like 62.5% or something like that, which would be like 1 rock and 3 spikes. But I mean, obviously that'd be a disaster scenario that I don't expect. But that's basically the most that's like the calc I could round to get the most value out of the EVs. The rest go into 52. I think I only actually need 44 to get a 2-hit KO with Ice Beam on D-Knight, like through multi-scale, or I think it's also a 2-hit KO after maybe 2 rounds of Toxic on Zapdos, Spadef, something like that. But there was leftover EVs from the Spadef, so I just threw that into special attack, and that's how we're at 52. Psychic, Ice Beam, Chilly Reception, Toxic. There honestly aren't many other good moves here. T-Wave, in theory, like feels nice on some swaps like Samurott, and on D-Knight to punish setup through multiscale. But the problem is like if all these plays would be on a read, and like a really reliable switch in on Slowking would be like Excadrill, for example. And so a world where I have Slowking in on, in on something, whatever that may be, and then I click T-Wave, trying to, make an aggressive play, get a big para, and he goes Drill, like that would be not good. Now you're probably thinking like, oh, well then why you have Toxic? Because the same logic applies. That's true. Toxic is for a niche situation. I don't intend on aggro clicking Toxic almost ever. It's really just for if Dunsparce starts setting up, then that, like I said, it wasn't very good. Like a part of that is because I'm just going to click Toxic and then that'll be that. But yeah, in general, like I'm not like I guess what I'm saying is like the way you would approach T-Wave on a set like this is different than how you would approach my like last ditch Mickey Toxic as like niche insurance for a Pokemon that's not coming, right? I'm mostly clicking Chilly Reception and Psychic, probably in that order. So that's the Slow King. Next we have Azu. This is a standard Samurott Eviscerator. Player off Aqua Jet, Parasong Superpower. There are a few guys that Parasong is helpful for, and that all the switch-ins on Azu are also guys that can potentially be set up. I don't think that they would like just start outright beating on me if they did set up, but it does make my life a lot more simple if I Parasong on switch. But basically the way this interaction will work is like I go Azu on Samurott. I had knock at one point, but then so the switches are going to be Okidogi, may or may not be Helmet, may or may not be Fizdef, and then Sinistcha. Those are the main two. If I knock Okidogi the first time, that's probably good. If I knock Sinistcha and it's Policy, that is not good. And so I started like that's not even worth it, especially because like once I knock the Ogi, I'm gonna have to play rough the rest of the time, the rest of the way. If he's Helmet Oki, then that's like probably the scenario where it's most annoying to not have knock. But even if he was, like for the reason I just gave with like Policy, Sinistcha, like it's not a given that I'd even feel comfortable knocking off, even if I needed it, you know, on Oki. So for the most part, I will be either Parasonging or play roughing, so that these guys can't just start either CMing or bulking up respectively on my next swap. And then I think it's it. So play rough will be my move to hit most things. Then Aqua Jet for priority. Superpower. Originally, in mocks, like my Aqua Jet for Excadrill, it doesn't 2-hit KO without a spike. So there's a world where like if I went Azu, I actually like wouldn't check the Excadrill. I could Aqua Jet it twice and it would still live. So then I was thinking like, oh, how am I gonna fit, you know, Waterfall? I forgot what move I had before. I think I had Knock before. So trying to fit Waterfall, but then I thought like, if this slot is only for Excadrill, it also would be nice. Like let's say I didn't manage to get the Toxic onto Dunsparce. It'd also be nice if I could Superpower and hit that very hard too. I do have speed to creep it at the bottom. The 68 EVs is for Dunsparce. But yeah, like I can Superpower. It'll more than plenty be enough for the drill. It'll also hit the Dunsparce. For the most part though, this Pokemon is going to be play roughing. In some mocks, like I did end up clicking the Parasong, which was cool. But yeah, I do expect to just go Azu, take Ceaseless Edge, get some Helmet off on Samurott, click play rough, swap, or even double. That's also possible. The EVs, I'm trying to remember exactly. I mean, the Fizdef is for a Samurott Calc, a Calc Life Orb, and Band, and non-item boosting. But I know I take three Banded Ceaselesses is what I take. And the attack is so that, like I said, Aqua Jet 2 KOs Excadrill after Spike, and then the speed is for it to done. After that, we have the Kyurem. This is mixed DD. Really, the only reason I have Icicle Spear is for the D Knight. Just because and I have 76 attack because it will always kill if I get a 3-hit. But Freeze Dry, Earth Power, Icicle Spear, and Dragon Dance. I think Kyurem has a really good matchup here. Freeze Dry, Earth Power hits really everything very well. The Icicle Spear breaks multi. I'm also Dragon Dance, which I mostly care about just for the purpose of boosting my speed. But it actually is nice, like kind of clutch, to get the attack boost on the Icicle Spear. To get maybe Okos that maybe +0 Freeze Dry couldn't. A big case where this actually played out in mocks was just that Hoopa obviously has good special defense and terrible Fizdef, so Icicle Spear at +1 actually got kills in many situations that Freeze Dry could not have. But for the most part, like the intent here is that this is effectively a special speed boosting Kyurem. Like that's effectively the intent of the set. But yeah, I'm trying to remember I'm mixed, so I have to tank a defense. I chose to tank special defense and 16 HP, 12. Naive always lives +2. Sinistcha, so if it's like policy Trick Room, like I'm always going to hit hard regardless, and he's not going to kill me in the process. I'll always live that hit from max special attack Modest Shadow Ball. The 88 Freeze Dry, I think that always 2-hit KOs Samurott, if I remember correctly. I think it always 2-hit KOs Zap too. Actually, that's almost certainly true. And the rest is an attack. I think that is just the remainder. The speed also, like Annihilate, is just covering the max speed. The max speed Excadrill, and in turn, the Samurott. And then last we have Thunderous. Thunderous is Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, Nasty, and Hammer Arm. I do like this Pokemon as a anti-lead against Ribombee and against Zapdos. The 64 special attack, Nasty Claw, always 2-hit KO Zapdos with T-Bolt. So if I'm in a position against Samurott, or if I'm threatening Psychic on Okidogi or whatever, any instance where I'm forcing a swap, bluffing, fight move, well, Focus Blast in particular on Excadrill, because I have Hammer Arm, as you can see, but it actually doesn't kill. But in those situations, like I can plot, and the likely switch-ins are Sinistcha and Zapdos. The Dark Pulse, I think +2 Dark Pulse actually just drops Sinistcha if it's not Spadef invested. And the +2 T-Bolt always 2-hit KO Zapdos at worst. This bulk, I think, is to take multiple, I don't know if it's Adamant or Jolly, but multiple Iron Heads from Drill. It was as many as I could take after a certain number of rocks. I don't remember exactly what it was though, but yeah, basically like Fat Thunder is to pivot in on Excadrill like the one time I expect to. Like I said, Excadrill does not have a fun time switching in on anything, so I don't expect to be pivoting Thunderous like a bunch of times, right? In the speed covers Moth, it is nice to have a guy that's naturally faster than Moth. So as far as like leads go, it's gonna depend a lot on what he brings. I think if I see D-Knight, I'm gonna lead Kyurem. If I see Ribombee, probably Thunderous. If I see Okidogi, I'm not sure. That might also be Thunderous. Yeah, that would be Thunderous. I think in the absence of all of those guys, I think Annihilate is a really good lead. It does beat the lead Samurott, the lead Excadrill. The thing with both like the Thunderous and, well, I don't know if Thunderous should be forced out, but the thing with the Kyurem lead is that like I'm very comfortable swapping into Samurott lead with Azu, so I'm not really worried if I end up leading something that's not that favorable into that. So yeah, I think that covers everything. That was a very thorough team builder. You probably I don't expect people to watch that. And yeah, who knows who knows if I do a thorough like that every time. But yeah, so that's the build. I play in a couple hours, so yeah, we're gonna be setting up for the game soon. So yeah, I'll see you then. All right, here we go. We are playing Ducky. I haven't done this Wi-Fi thing in I think almost 2 years. It feels so weird. For some reason, I'm nervous. It feels very unnatural. But we're gonna have to lock in. Let's see, is he ready? I think he is. Just waiting to get the message. This matchup, I don't want to say it's difficult, but there's a high degree of variance. I don't think it necessarily favors him more than me, or me more than him. But the more variance, like the more bullshit that could happen. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. I'm gonna let's start battle. Okay, searching. Let's see, do we find each other? Okay, I sent him the Tera. I'm Tera Rock. He's gonna need to send me what he is. Okay, Okidogi, Sinistcha. Okay, both Teras are here. He has not told me the Tera yet. Fairy Moth and Fairy Hoopa. Okay, if I saw a D-Knight, I was going to lead Kyurem. I don't. So if I saw Ribombee, I was going to lead Thunderous. I don't. So I think I'm going to lead the Annihilate. I think his likely lead is the Samurott. It could be something else, actually. The Excadrill didn't come, so Thunderous is actually very expendable. Normally, I would like to have a better vision of what my lead is going to be. But it's any individual Pokemon here I didn't think was unlikely to come, but this exact configuration was not something I was that prepared for. So now that Excadrill's not here, the Thunderous is kind of expendable. I am going to lead it, and I also think a lot of the leads that I was planning are kind of awkward into the Okidogi lead in particular. Also, a lot of my leads, well, this is true for Kyurem, not as much for lead Annihilate, but I am content to switch out of Samurott into Azumarill. Okay, so it is Okie Dokie. This is good. This is what I wanted. I can afford to take a hit from this. I could threaten Psychic. I obviously don't have that. I could just plot. He actually doesn't have a great switch into this. So part of me wants to just T-Bolt and then or plot. I think I should T-Bolt twice actually. Because if he switches to Sinny, which is his only resist, then I can just plot that turn. If he goes hard Hoopa, I don't know if he's going to be Scarf. So I would nasty plot and just be forced out. So if he goes hard Sinny, his only electric resist, then I can nasty plot the next turn. But if he went hard into a pivot that's going to outspeed, then my nasty plot would be really lame. So he's going to switch right out. I expect it to be Hoopa or Sinistcha. Strike twice. Is this the... So hard Zapdos. Okay. I actually can... This is going to do... Okay, I did a lot. I kind of want to plot because this doesn't get a move that's going to really do anything to me. And when I do plot... Yeah, I'm going to plot. He doesn't have a move that's going to hit me that hard. T-Bolt, I don't even think 2 KOs. We'll see what he wants to do. So I'm inclined to think this is a good lead for me. He was expecting the Psychic very clearly. Well, if he was, he could have went hard Hoopa. The fact that he didn't go hard Hoopa suggests to me that he is that he's not Scarf, and that he may even be like in the back, like a WinCon set. Goes to the Roost. This is what I wanted, because now my +2 T-Bolt always 2 KOs this. So he roosted, and now somebody's gonna have to take 2 T-Bolts. Okay, that did a lot. That was not even a crit. So we're gonna eat this because we're pretty fat. Okay, that did more than I thought it would. I kind of want a Dark Pulse. Actually, I don't need to. I don't need to Dark Pulse. I was gonna say, go like, oh, I'll Dark Pulse if he goes hard Sinistcha, but I can just T-Bolt into Dark Pulse because I outspeed. That'll kill. So I'm getting a Pokemon here off lead, which is nice for me. I also outspeed everything here. The only thing that I don't outspeed is a Scarf, which I'm gonna know right away if it's Scarf, or a Samurott with priority, which it almost certainly has. However, Aqua Jet, unless it's banded, Aqua Jet's not gonna be that move. So it's gonna have to be Sucker if it's non-banded, or it could be Scarf, because then he'll just Scarf, he'll outspeed, he'll Ceaseless Edge, and that play works for him. He's gonna have to give me a Pokemon here. That's just how it goes. I think he's gonna sack Zap. It's already taking too much. It's so low. He preserves it. So what's he going hard into here? So you're about to take a hard T-Bolt right here. Okay, AV. All right, this is AV. Let me write this down. What I've learned so far: T-Bolt, Roost. The Hoopa is AV. Is the damage on this just worth it? Because I could switch. Actually, do I even have a switch? He's Terra Fairy. Physical Fairy will do a lot to Ting Lu. I think I just want to take the damage. I think I just want to T-Bolt this twice. I took most of Zapdos. Yeah, like I feel like I took most of Zapdos. I'm not gonna be able to switch this in on anything. There's no Excadrill. It does beat the Sinistcha, but I have a Kyurem that also beats the Sinistcha. I'm just gonna T-Bolt. I could. No, he's gonna. Yeah. So he does opt Terra, so the Iron Moth is not going to be Terra. That makes me think it is a Toxic set, like Toxic U-Turn, which is, well, I'll probably just want to spam U-Turn because I do have a GK. But I'm thinking just like a U-Turn set, regular Revenge Killers, probably Boots, and then this is like the Terra. Now it is low. It just took 2 T-Bolts. He is going to knock, and that kills me. Okay, so the Hoopa is quite low, thankfully. What's cool about this situation is he's slower than me for sure, like without question. And if I go Kyurem, I will definitely kill with Icicle Spear, I believe. This is a calc I gotta make custom, icicle spear. This 3-hit icicle spear. Let's say, what if I was really unlucky and got 2? 2. Yeah, I'm gonna kill. So I'm just gonna icicle spear. I am faster, for sure. He may switch. He doesn't have a good switch, for the record. He doesn't really have one. So I'm just gonna icicle spear. This will kill. It does look like it's in range of 2. And if that's the case, like his Terra will just go down. And so that's a big win. It's a big win anyway because it means the Moth is in Terra. So, yeah, I would say this is a good start for me. He's going to switch out of this as well. Okay. And this is probably going to be the Samurott. Okay. I would assume this is Yachi. Because, like, why else would you do something like this? The weird situation that he is in is that he actually can't Ceaseless Edge because it doesn't do that much. He has to Sacred Sword. Oh, I would have got a 4-hit there, so Hoopa would have been super dead. In my view, like, he has to Sacred Sword here. If he does Ceaseless, he makes the read, which I don't think is really high upside. But if he makes the read and gets the Ceaseless off, gets a spike up, that's fine. Most of my guys are boots. Most of my guys are boots anyway. And then from here, I think that... So I'm going to swap here. I think he's going to Sacred Sword, almost certainly. And then when he Sacred Swords into Azu, he's probably going to go either Oki or Sinistcha. If he goes Sinistcha, I will go Kyurem. If he goes Oki, I will go... Ooh. I got to think that one through. I think I play rough either way. I play rough either way with Sinistcha, or not Sinistcha, with Azu. So he does go for the edge. If I had stayed in there, he would have just died. Not died, but it wouldn't have been, in my mind, it wouldn't have been the biggest return. So I'm going to play rough here. He's going to go Sinistcha, or... dude, why is this Samurai also pretty low? It's at like 65, I think. I have my own health bars that I'm coloring in, so I can have this showdown visual. His dudes are taking damage. His dudes are taking damage like crazy. So this is going to be the Sinistcha. Please don't miss play rough. Okay, good. We got some damage. Doesn't do that much. Is he helmet? He is leftovers, it looks like. So now I'm just going to go hard into the Kyurem. There's no reason not to do that. He does not even possess a move that's going to do that much. He should double. If I'm him, he absolutely doubles here. We're gonna see. If he does double, then that's something to keep in mind. If we find out that he's got the sauce, but if he doesn't double, because he has no good play here into Kyurem. He could plot. I always live a Shadow Ball, so even a plot would really kind of suck for him. In fact, if he did plot, I think I would want to Dragon Dance. Would I want to Dragon Dance? I would want to Dragon Dance if I killed. I don't know that I do though. Because then I would Dragon Dance, I would kill him, then outspeed the next guy, kill that. So I would maximize like the return that I'm getting. The freeze dry will not kill. Okay, so when I go Kyurem, so I am faster, or not faster. I switched out first, which means I'm faster. No, I'm not. So he didn't switch out. So he's just going to attack. He's going to do something. He might just Matcha Gotcha. Goes for Calm Mind. This makes me feel like he is policy Calm Mind. Which worries me. I could go for the Icicle Spear. This is a... If I got 3 hits, just get the boost here. I feel like he's policy Trick Room. If he's policy Trick Room, the problem there... So this freeze dry is still going to do more, it looks like. This is a bad... Actually, no, this isn't that bad. If I freeze dry... If I freeze dry, I go Slowking after, I think. Freeze dry, Slowking. Dude, the fact is here, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I have to attack. If he's weakest policy and he Calm Minds, if he's weakest policy and then he Trick Rooms, that just sucks. Like, that just sucks for me. It is what it is. I'm going to have to figure out a way through that. My Slowking will move first. It will move first on him, so I will freeze dry. He's not Yachi Berry. Okay, so we just ate that. Goes for the Strength Sap. Listen, bruv, I'm mixed. So I'm just gonna keep freeze drying. I don't think that avoided. Did that even avoid it to a KO? I'm not so sure that it did. Looking at the calc, this is around this does around half. So he is gonna run out of the amount that he can sap, and this freeze dry is doing around half. It's not always half, but he's gonna need a lot of boosts to beat me. I think that in his best scenario, okay, I'm lucky as fuck. I'm lucky as fuck. I was thinking like in his best scenario, we trade, which is kind of what this was designed to do anyway. But I got extremely lucky. I'm not even going to bother. I don't think I'm going to bother Dragon Dancing. I think I just need to take my wins where I can get them. Stay frozen another turn, please. Okay, I just fucking crit him. Ouch. Okay, I fucked him really bad there. That's just the fact. I fucked him really bad here. I don't, like, in terms of, like, game-shattering outcomes, I do think we would have, at best, for him traded. Now, if you're him, like, maybe that's worth it, right? He might be kicking himself, like, man, I wanted to trade for this Kyurem. But that was extremely fucking lucky. That was really lucky. Because now, not only do I guarantee that I come out, I guarantee that he doesn't trade, but I'm at full health right now. So that's very lucky for me. He's running out of switches, too. This also means that like the Kyurem has effectively served its purpose. It was for the Sinistcha. It'll outspeed and hit the Samurott, which is almost certainly Yachi. He's going to go into Okidoki now. I do have the Earth Power. He did switch out of this. I feel inclined to go hard G-King. If he knocks, then that's cool. Like, I'll live 2 always. But I don't want to take a CC. Like, I really don't want to take a CC. I could EP. He could be Shuka. He could be AV. In fact, he even might be Shuka. But yeah, it's not worth for me to take. In my view, like, I know I said this about the Ceaseless Edge, but he has to CC, right? He has to. He knows that I'm Boots, so he knows it's not Chopple. Like, there's no funny business there. The only way is, like, if he's max Spadef, if he's like max Spadef AV and he knows he's going to take 2 Earth Powers, I don't even know if that's possible. I really don't even know if that's possible here. It's also awkward for him because he really doesn't know. He really doesn't know that G-King would be the switch that I would prefer here. I very well could go into the Annihilate. I just as easily could do that. He goes for Drain Punch. Okay, this is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what we wanted. Okay, now we have, in theory, we can have a free Psychic here. In theory, we have a free Psychic here. I want to Chilly Reception on Samurott, but I really don't have to. That is being needlessly aggressive, I would say, because I can always go Azu on Samurott and it's completely safe. There's like no way he should stay in. Like, there's just no way in hell that he should stay in. But if I Chilly Reception and he does stay in, and I knock, lose my berry, I don't even have a great switch if I do that. So I'm just gonna Psychic. He's gonna switch. He's probably gonna go to Samurott. He could also sack the Hoopa. That is also possible. I don't remember the names. So he goes to Samurott. That's fine. I could have Chilly there. I wanted Chilly there, but if he did do the knock play, I just really didn't like it. I'm going back to Azu. He really should be doubling here as well. He really should probably double here. So many of my guys are Boots, as I said. We're also in a position. We're close to Annihilate winning. We're very close. In fact, one could argue that I could have gone straight to Annihilate there. You really could argue that. Because Sinistcha being dead is big. Rage Fist obviously hits Sinistcha hard, but not without any boosts. So I'm thinking, like, we see where this Azumarill line on Samurott goes, and then we start trying to position the Annihilate. It goes for Ceaseless again. This is fine. The cool thing here is that now, like, there really isn't a play rough resist. He can go hard. He can go hard into the Cringer, Iron Moth. It's kind of scary for him. He doesn't know that I'm not Waterfall. It also just doesn't do that much offensively, so like you're really not getting much out of making that play. I gotta mark the Samurott. It's even lower now because of the helmet. But yeah, like what's unfortunate for him is like he is severely overestimating how valuable the spikes are going to be here. They're not going to be valuable at all. So he's going to go for... Okay, so I kill the Samurott. Annihilate is looking really good now. I don't think anybody even hits it. I really don't. He can go into a few things. There is Hoopa. I can just sack this. I can just sack this. I haven't even sent out Tinglu. I haven't even sent it out. Okay, Okie Dokie is here. I kind of just want to sack this. He could bulk up. That'd be really, really cringe. So Parasong would be nice. I'm going to Parasong, see if he bulks up. He goes for Gunk Shot. Okay. That's fine. Azumarill did exactly what it needed to do. Now I'm thinking of just going into the Annihilate. But if he is Toxic, that's really, really annoying. However, I don't have... Actually... Does anything beat G-King at this point? Does literally anything beat it? Because he can switch. If he switches out and goes hard Hoopa, I actually am Colbur Berry. He is locked. I'm gonna Psychic. I think the Hoopa will live, but it's fine. I guess what I'm trying to say is if I'm itemless though, if he's max attack adamant, which I'm not sure that he even is, his knockoff isn't to a KO. It does have 3 layers of spikes. It's a roll. But it's not a given that he'll beat me even without the item. So I guess what I'm saying. If I were him, I would sack Zapdos. This Iron Moth is also not that valuable. I do want to get in my... Okay, so he's going to go into something. It looks like a sack. I think Hoopa will live one. This is the Hoopa, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. One thing that's cool about this too is because the Iron Moth isn't anything, that matters. Okay, I'm just gonna Psychic. He can hit me because the Iron Moth isn't Terra. Like my Tinglu now, I can rotate my Tinglu. Originally, the way I drew it up is that Tinglu was gonna check something like possibly a non-Terra Hoopa or some other type of Hoopa. It could have been Drill, it could have been Zapdos even, but obviously that didn't play out. And the G-King was gonna be for a Terra Iron Moth. But he ended up not being Terra, so this G-King actually can take it can take the Hyperspace Fury. He's AV, it's not gonna hit anyway. And then the Tinglu is already at full health and boost for the Iron Moth. There's really no check to it. Well, there's a Zapdos that I technically don't hit. I would have to I have to Earthquake Raw on the Roost, which is a play I'm fine making. I actually am never punished by that. He's thinking a lot here. Goes for knock. Okay, I'm actually very glad that was not Dark Pulse. That way, that was not Dark Pulse. That way, I could never get flinched. We're gonna take the Hoopa out. So we got full health Iron Moth. I don't remember if the Okie Dokie is full health. I think it's not. The Zapdos is like basically dead. So I think I want to... What do I want to do here? He goes Iron Moth. You go Okie Dokie. Do I want to sack? I wonder. I wonder if he goes Okie Dokie if I should hard cure him because he's not going to CC. So I could go cure him and then I guarantee that I get like an Earth Power. And that would be big return, so I Earth Power, and then I go Okie Dokie. Or not Okie Dokie, Annihilate. Actually, no, I could even go back. I could go back to Slowking. Probably not. I don't know if I'm healthy enough to easily stomach a knock. I'm not sure. It's thinking a lot here. Okay, this is Iron Moth, right? Okay. What is this doing? So if he agilities, do I even care? Do I even care? A part of me wants to go hard Ting. There's really no move that's going to matter here. And I can heal this guy up. If anything weird happens, I can always Whirlwind. He can Toxic, and that's not really a bothersome. This isn't really an issue for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go Ting. We're finally going to see the Ting. I wonder if he's going to overheat. Like, what did it... I wonder why he did this. U-turn? Fiery Dance. Okay. I guess I'm gonna get an uncontested hit here. I think. I guess. There's no boost. You literally didn't get a boost. I'm gonna Earthquake. He probably goes Zap. I would think he goes Zap. But he can't Roost is the thing. And I don't know that he even has a move for this, you know? So part of me wants to Earthquake again. However, if I went hard Cure him, and I Dragon Dance, if I go hard Cure him and just Freeze Dry, you know, Dragon Dance would be a nice play. It'd be a very nice play. I'm not even worried. Yeah, I'm gonna go hard Cure him. I feel like he's not gonna want to Roost because I mean, I obviously just threw an Earthquake out on him, but he doesn't really have a good play here because he's also not a pair. He's not Discharge. So he goes for Hurricane. I dodge that. That would not have. That would have done a lot. I would have ate it though. So I think I'm gonna Dragon Dance here. And pretty much whatever he goes into, I'm just gonna take the hit. It'd be cool if he went hard Moth. I don't know what he's gonna do. He could go hard Oki. Be kind of weird. Yeah, I'm just mostly worried about this Oki being toxic. That'd be really irritating to the Annihilate. But it's probably not gonna matter. Because he has so few Pokemon now that it's probably not gonna matter. Goes for Hurricane, misses again. This is very unlucky for our hero. This is very unlucky. I mean, honestly, the game's over. Like, it really didn't matter, for being honest. But he's not hitting fucking shit. To be fair, like if he hit the first Hurricane, then maybe he just takes me out. I don't know that he would make this play though. That's the real thing. I'll just Freeze Dry. So we take out the Zap. Yeah, I don't think any of this matters in retrospect. I don't know if it's retrospect. I guess we're current spec. I don't think any of this matters at the end of the day. But I also don't know. Oh, he was fast. So yeah, if he Hurricane twice, then I guess the way that plays out is like I sack Cure him, go Annihilate, bulk up and win. Yeah, that's what would have happened. So yeah, none of this matters. But from his point of view, like, it probably is very frustrating. I will say that much. He can go into whatever. I'm gonna Earth Power in either case, and then go Annihilate. Goes into Okidogi. We're gonna find out what set this is. We're also gonna find out, like, there's a non-zero chance that that like we eat this. It's really gonna. Okay, so he's gonna take this. That is not AV, and he's gonna Drain Punch. We're gonna eat that. And now he's gonna get less health back next time. So he'll be low. He'll be nice and low. Earth Power. We're gonna Earth Power again. He's gonna get a little more health back, which is cool. Drain Punch. Get a little bit of health. I could go into the Oki, and I could, or not the Oki. I could go in the G King and Psychic. I could do that. Because right now I actually don't really have a move for. I don't actually have a move for this guy right now. I wonder. I kind of want to bulk up. He literally can't hit me with anything, like literally nothing. So yeah, I'm just gonna go Annihilate. We're gonna get to work here. We're gonna get to work here. I don't know what he's gonna hit me with. I think I'll just bulk up. Not going to Terra. I don't think he's the health to hit me with anything. He revealed Knock, Drain, Gunk Shot. What's that last move? Gunk, Drain. Knock. Actually, I'm just assuming he has Knock. I actually don't know if he has Knock. Okay, we're gonna see what he clicks. He goes for... He's gonna hit me with something. Don't toxic. Gunk shot. Okay, that was the best case scenario that I could have asked for, probably. So he does get the poison. This is not a big deal. I do get the +1 Rage Fist now at 100 base power, which is nice. What really matters here, though, is that the Tinglu is just gonna always live from... It's just always gonna live. So we Rage Fist. Hopefully this kills. I'm not really trying to play anymore. Okay. Okay, that dies. And then we're gonna clean this up by Terra. We're gonna Terra up, and then we're gonna rock Terra Blast this Iron Moth. If he's goated with the sauce, then he's gonna like E-ball or something. I assume he has something to that effect. We'll see. And Terra Blast. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. See what we got. There's like a very realistic chance that he has a move to hit this. Just by virtue of needing a move to hit Tinglu, like he could just be E-ball. If he chose Gleam, that's unfortunate. but yeah, there's a decent chance that we just die here and then we switch. Goes for it is Gleam. Okay, that's unfortunate. So now we're just gonna Terra Blast. +1 Terra Blast will almost certainly drop this. I will lose my mind if it's not. There's no way it's a stash. There's no way it's like late game stash. Okay. So yeah, GG to Ducky. I absolutely got lucky just in terms of the RNG. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think it did not change the outcome. I will say it did not. Certainly made life easier. But yeah, that matchup was a little sticky, but we got off to a really good start, and it just really didn't change from there. So we walk away with a 3-0 victory, and yeah, pretty satisfied with the prep and the play. I had a very busy week, so that also played a big role. I'm glad that it ended up working out. So yeah, we start off 1-0, and I will see you next week. I don't remember who I'm playing. I'll see you next week.